Have you ever noticed how, in the middle of chaos, there's always one person who seems completely calm, like the storm is swirling around them? Yet they remain still, like a mountain untouched by the winds? What if I told you that you could be that person too, and it starts with something as simple as your breath? Yes, your breath, that quiet, steady rhythm you often forget is there. In Buddhist teachings, the breath is not just air moving in and out of the body. It's a sacred bridge between the restless mind and the peaceful heart. A gentle tool, always within reach, to return you to yourself. In today's video, you won't need hours of meditation or complicated rituals. I'm going to guide you through a simple, beautiful breathing technique inspired by the wisdom of the Buddha, a practice that has calmed restless minds for over 2,500 years. And the best part? You can do it right where you are. Whether you're sitting at your desk, lying in bed, or standing in line at the market. So, before we dive in, I invite you to pause. Just for a moment, notice the way your chest rises and falls. Feel the coolness of the air as it enters your nose, and the warmth as it leaves. Isn't it amazing how something so simple, so ordinary, holds the key to inner peace? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only learn this ancient breathing technique, but you'll also discover how it can help release stress, steady your emotions, and reconnect you with the quiet, steady center within yourself. Let's begin. In the teachings of the Buddha, the breath is more than just a biological function. It is a mirror reflecting the state of your mind. When your thoughts are scattered, notice how your breath becomes shallow, quick, and uneven. And when peace fills your heart, your breath softens, slows, and moves like a gentle wave across a quiet lake. The breath tells the silent story of your inner world, one we rarely take the time to listen to. Thousands of years ago, beneath the shade of a Bodhi tree, the Buddha discovered that observing the breath could lead a person from suffering to serenity. Not through force or struggle, but through gentle awareness. He taught that the breath is always present, always available, and through it, we can return home to ourselves, no matter how far we've wandered. So today, I invite you to experience this for yourself. Begin by finding a quiet space. You don't need a sacred shrine or a mountaintop retreat. Your quiet space could be the corner of your room, your car parked under a tree, or simply the moment between two heartbeats. Sit comfortably, with your back straight but not stiff. Let your hands rest gently on your lap, palms open like petals waiting for the morning sun. Close your eyes, or soften your gaze, and begin to notice your breath. Don't change it, don't control it, simply watch. Feel the cool air as it enters your nostrils, travels down, fills your chest, your belly, and then feel it leave. Warm and light, carrying with it the weight of your worries. Inhale, and silently count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath for a gentle pause. A moment of stillness, as if time itself has slowed to honor your presence. Then exhale, counting to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice the difference. Notice the calmness beginning to settle, like ripples fading across a pond. Feel the space between thoughts widen, the tightness in your chest softening. This is not a technique to escape your life, but a doorway to fully enter it, with grace and clarity. You might wonder, why count to 6 on the exhale? In Buddhist breath practices, the out-breath is often longer, as it encourages the body to release, to let go, to surrender. It is in the exhale that the body signals to the mind. You are safe, you are here, you can rest now. Imagine each out-breath as a leaf floating down a quiet stream, carrying away your tension, your restlessness, your need to control, and in its place, calmness quietly returns. like dawn breaking over a silent forest. Stay with this rhythm. Inhale for 4, hold, exhale for 6, and let this gentle pattern cradle you, as if the universe itself were breathing with you. By practicing this, even for just a few minutes each day, you'll notice subtle changes. The storms inside you begin to lose their strength. Your reactions soften. You become less hurried, less restless, more present, and in that presence, you'll realize that peace was never somewhere far away. It was here, within you, waiting for you to remember. Because as the Buddha taught, peace is not something we find. It's something we uncover. As you continue to breathe, you might begin to notice something subtle yet profound, a quiet space opening within you. A gap between thoughts, a stillness between each inhale and exhale. It's as if, for a moment, time slows down, and in that pause, you remember who you truly are beneath the noise of the world. This is the gift of mindful breathing. It doesn't promise to erase your worries or silence every restless thought. But it gives you something far more valuable, the ability to witness them without being consumed by them. Imagine your mind as a vast, open sky. Thoughts are like clouds passing through. Some are light and fluffy, others dark and heavy, but no matter how many clouds appear, the sky remains. It doesn't cling to the clouds, nor does it try to push them away. It simply allows them to come and go. Your awareness, too, is like that sky. Through this practice, you begin to realize, you are not your worries. You are not your anxieties. You are not the endless to-do lists or the opinions of others. You are the calm presence watching it all, steady and unshaken. In Buddhist wisdom, this is called returning to your original mind, the part of you that existed before the world told you who to be, what to fear, and what to chase. A mind as clear as a mountain lake, reflecting the world without distortion. And here's a beautiful truth: you don't have to sit for hours to touch this peace. Even a few mindful breaths, taken with gentle awareness, can soften the sharp edges of your day. A stressful meeting, a difficult conversation, a restless night. In those moments, your breath is a doorway you can quietly step through. So, the next time life feels overwhelming, ask yourself, where is my breath? Not in a way that demands perfection, but as a gentle invitation to return to the one thing always within reach. Feel the cool air as it enters your nose. Notice the slight pause at the top of the inhale. Sense the warmth as you exhale. Letting go. It's in these small, seemingly ordinary moments that we reclaim our peace. And as you practice, you might find, almost without effort, that your days begin to feel a little lighter, your heart a little softer, your mind a little clearer. Because when you breathe like a Buddha, you are not escaping life. You are meeting it fully, with presence, with courage, and with compassion. Let's continue. As your breath settles into its natural rhythm, notice how your body begins to respond. The shoulders soften, the jaw unclenches, even the space behind your eyes seems to relax. It's a quiet reminder that the body and mind are not separate, they move together. Like waves rising and falling on the same ocean. In Buddhist practice, the breath is often called the gateway to the present moment. It's the simplest, most direct way to return to yourself. You see, the mind loves to wander, to replay the past, to anticipate the future, to invent stories about what might happen next. But the breath? It only lives now. And here's something beautiful to consider. No matter how far your thoughts roam, the breath is always waiting for you, like an old friend at the door. No judgment, no scolding, just a quiet, steady presence inviting you back. Perhaps you've noticed how, in moments of fear or frustration, your breath becomes shallow, quick, almost invisible. It tightens in the chest. It hides. And yet, when you consciously slow it down, When you inhale with awareness and exhale with softness, everything begins to shift. Not instantly, but steadily, like dawn gradually lighting the sky. You might even feel the heart's rhythm calming, your pulse finding a quieter pace. The ancient teachers would say this is not magic, but the natural intelligence of the body remembering its true state, one of ease, balance, and peace. Let's take a moment, right now, to practice together. Inhale slowly through the nose, count to 4 in your mind. Hold that breath, gently, for another count of 4. Then exhale, soft and steady, through the mouth, counting to 6. Notice the sensation, the slight coolness on the inhale, the warmth on the exhale, the pause in between, like a doorway between worlds. Repeat this for a few cycles, and feel how even this simple pattern creates space inside you. Space between one thought and the next, between one emotion and another. It's in these spaces where peace lives, not in the absence of problems, but in your willingness to meet them with a steady, open heart. And if your mind wanders, because it will, there's no need to scold yourself. Just smile, like a parent gently guiding a curious child, and bring your attention back to the breath. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom, to live with awareness, to meet each moment as it is, and to trust that even the smallest, simplest practice can open a doorway to something greater than you imagined. So as you breathe, know this: you are not merely inhaling and exhaling. You are cultivating peace. You are planting seeds of calm in the fertile soil of your own being. And in time, those seeds will bloom. As you settle deeper into this simple practice, you might begin to notice a quiet clarity emerging. The chatter of the mind softens. The restless tension in the chest loosens. And there's a gentle spaciousness where stress once lived. It's not that life's problems vanish, but your relationship to them begins to shift. This is one of the hidden teachings within Buddhist wisdom. Peace is not the absence of difficulty. It's the ability to remain steady in the middle of it, like a candle's flame that dances but does not go out, even when the wind blows. And it all begins with the breath. The more you practice mindful breathing, the more you realize how often you've been living disconnected from yourself. Moving from one task to the next, chasing deadlines, avoiding discomfort, caught in a loop of thinking, reacting, wanting. Have you ever looked up at the end of a long day and wondered, where did the time go? The breath brings you back. It's like coming home after being away for too long. The familiar sense of ease, of warmth, of simplicity. You realize that while the world may demand so much from you, your inner sanctuary is always within reach. A sacred space built not of walls and doors, but of steady inhales and soft, releasing exhales. And what happens when you make this a daily ritual, even for just a few minutes? You start responding to life differently. The little annoyances don't grip you so tightly. The rush of impatience when traffic stalls or someone speaks harshly to you softens. You find yourself pausing, breathing, choosing peace over reaction. In Buddhist monasteries, monks often begin and end their day with mindful breathing, not because it makes problems disappear, but because it reminds them to meet the world with compassion, presence, and clarity. It teaches them, as it will teach you, that every moment, no matter how ordinary, carries within it the potential for awakening. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone or dive into the noise of the world, pause, take 3 conscious, mindful breaths. Notice the way your body feels. Notice the thoughts that arise. And gently, lovingly, let them pass. And in the evening, before sleep carries you away, do the same. Let your final moments of wakefulness be filled not with scrolling or worrying, but with presence, with breath, with gratitude. You might be surprised how this small act, repeated over days and weeks, begins to change the texture of your life. Not through grand, dramatic shifts, but through quiet, steady ripples of calm. Because when you learn to breathe like a Buddha, you don't just calm your mind. You begin to awaken the deepest, most peaceful parts of yourself. And isn't that what we're all quietly seeking? Let's take another breath together now. As your practice deepens, something subtle yet profound begins to unfold. You start to notice the space between your thoughts. A gentle quietness that, at first, feels unfamiliar, like stepping into a sun-drenched clearing after walking through a dense forest. It's in this quiet space where wisdom lives, where clarity breathes, where you remember who you were before the world asked you to be so many things. In Buddhist teachings, the breath is more than a calming tool. It's a doorway to understanding the nature of impermanence. Every inhale rises, and every exhale falls. Nothing lingers, nothing is held. This simple truth reflected in your breath reminds you that every emotion, every worry, every moment of discomfort will pass, just as each breath does. Nothing stays forever. Have you ever watched leaves floating down a river? Some get caught in little eddies, circling for a while before moving on. Others drift quickly, carried by the current. Thoughts and feelings are just like that. Some will tug at you, demanding your attention. Others will quietly slip away. But none of them are you. You are the river itself, vast, flowing, continuous. When you breathe with awareness, you return to this truth. You stop clinging so tightly to every passing thought, every fleeting emotion. You learn to witness them, to welcome them as passing guests, and to let them leave when their time is done. This is the heart of Buddhist mindfulness. Not to escape your experience, but to be fully present with it, to hold it gently. Like a bird resting in your hand, knowing you cannot keep it, but you can appreciate its presence. And as you continue to breathe, you'll notice how even the act of paying attention changes your relationship with discomfort. A moment of anxiety, when met with steady breath, loses its sharp edges. Anger, when met with a conscious exhale, softens into understanding. The restless urge to control things beyond your reach eases, replaced by a quiet trust that life will unfold as it should. This is not about denying pain or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about creating enough inner stillness to hold both joy and sorrow without being consumed by either. Monks often say, "No mud, no lotus." The lotus flower, one of Buddhism's most sacred symbols, grows from the deepest, darkest mud. It rises through murky water to bloom in the light. In the same way, your breath carries you through whatever murky waters you find yourself in. It reminds you that even in heaviness, peace is possible. So in moments of struggle, when you feel lost, when fear grips your chest, when sadness clouds your vision, return to your breath. Let it be the hand that gently steadies you. Let it remind you that you are not broken. You are simply passing through a shadowed part of your path. And like the breath, it too will pass. As you continue this gentle practice, something beautiful starts to happen. You begin to cultivate what the ancient teachers called inner refuge. A sanctuary within yourself, untouched by the chaos of the world. A quiet space you can return to at any moment, no matter what's unfolding around you. Have you ever stood beneath a large, ancient tree during a sudden rainstorm? The world around you may be soaked and restless, but under those wide branches, there's calm. The drops fall softly, the wind hums gently, and though the storm continues, you're held in a kind of shelter. This is what your breath offers you. It is your tree in the rain. As you deepen your awareness, you'll notice how much of life's suffering is born not from the events themselves, but from the stories we weave around them. The worries about what might happen, the regrets about what already has, the fear of not being enough, of losing what we love, of falling short. But the breath, simple, Steady, always present, anchors you to what is real. Not the imagined future, not the echoing past, but this very moment, where everything is still possible. And the truth is, peace isn't something you find outside yourself. It isn't hidden in distant mountains, or ancient books, or far-off retreats. It lives in you, quietly waiting beneath the surface noise. All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is return. Even now, as you hear these words, notice how your body feels. Notice the steady rising and falling of your breath. No need to force anything. No need to control it. Just witnessing is enough. This simple act of noticing pulls you out of the whirlpool of overthinking and into presence. In Buddhist philosophy, there's a beautiful term called sati, which means mindfulness, but more literally translates as to remember. To remember where you are. To remember who you are. To remember that beneath the waves of thought and emotion, you are something vast, something timeless, and it's through mindful breathing that you return to this remembrance. Life will still bring challenges. You will still face days of sadness, of frustration, of uncertainty. That is the nature of being human. But with this practice, those moments lose their power to drown you. They become passing weather, not permanent storms. And perhaps the greatest gift of all is this: as you learn to steady yourself, you naturally become a source of calm for others, like a single candle lighting another, without losing its own flame. Your peace ripples outward, a soft presence in a noisy world. So, as we near the end of this practice, carry this truth with you. Your breath is not just air. It is wisdom. It is refuge. It is home. Let's take one more mindful breath together. Inhale, hold, and exhale slowly. You are here. You are whole. You are enough. As we slowly come to the close of this practice, take a quiet moment to notice how you feel right now. Is there a slight ease in your chest? A gentler rhythm in your thoughts? Maybe a touch of warmth in your heart? As if some heavy weight has quietly lifted. Even just a little. That's the power of a simple breath. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady, trustworthy, like a quiet stream that carves through stone over centuries. Your breath has the power to soften even the hardest places within you, if only you give it space. One of the most beautiful lessons from Buddhist wisdom is this: peace doesn't arrive in grand moments of enlightenment. It reveals itself in tiny, ordinary pauses, in the space between one breath and the next, in the softness of dawn light spilling through your window, in the hush before sleep, in the kind word you whisper to yourself when no one else is listening. So, as you step back into the flow of your day, remember that you don't have to wait for perfect conditions to reconnect with this calm. The world won't always grow quiet for you. The storms won't always pass when you ask them to. But no matter where you are, whether in traffic, in a crowded room, or alone in the stillness of the night, your breath is with you. A constant, steady companion. When anxiety stirs, pause. When frustration rises, pause. When joy fills your chest, pause. And in those pauses, breathe, not because it will solve everything, but because it reminds you that you don't have to carry the entire weight of life alone. The breath is a bridge, a simple, sacred thread tying you to the present. And in that presence, to peace. Imagine if you made this small ritual a part of your daily rhythm. 3 conscious breaths before you open your eyes each morning. A pause and a slow inhale before you answer a difficult message. A gentle exhale before sleep. Releasing the day like leaves falling from an autumn tree. Wouldn't life begin to feel different? Wouldn't the tight places in your heart loosen? Just a little? And perhaps that's the quiet revolution of mindful breathing, not changing the world around you, but changing the way you move within it. Softening where you once braced. Noticing what you once missed. Trusting what you once doubted. As the old Zen saying goes, you should sit in meditation for 20 minutes a day. Unless you are too busy, then you should sit for an hour. A reminder that the busier, noisier, more restless life feels, the more essential it becomes to return to the breath. So, my friend, as we end this practice together, take one final deep, conscious breath. Inhale peace, hold presence, exhale with grace. Carry this calm into whatever awaits you next. And whenever you lose your way, as we all do, remember, it takes only one mindful breath to begin again. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me today. Until we meet again, may you be well, may you be peaceful, and may you always remember the quiet wisdom of your own breath. And before we part ways, I invite you to gently bring your hands together at your heart, if it feels right for you. Take one last deep, mindful breath. Inhale, and exhale, softly releasing any tension you might still be holding. Know this, the peace you've touched here today is not something you have to chase. It lives within you, always. It's not a distant mountaintop to reach one day, but a quiet place you can return to, one breath at a time. If this practice spoke to something deep inside you, if it reminded you to slow down, to soften, to come home to yourself, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here at Daily Dharma Wisdom, we walk this gentle path together, one breath, one truth, one peaceful moment at a time. You might also find comfort in exploring our other guided meditations, Buddhist reflections, and wisdom talks designed to ease your heart and calm your mind. And if this video brought you a little stillness today, would you consider leaving a comment below? Share how you feel, or simply let us know where in the world you're breathing with us from. It's a beautiful way to remind ourselves that even though we're scattered across the world, we're connected by something as simple and sacred as the breath. Until we meet again, may you be well, may you be peaceful, and may you always find your way back to the quiet wisdom of your own heart. See you in the next video.